everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back to the Pulse of Willie and Al. How's it going today, brother?
Hey, man, pretty good. It's we're recording on a Friday, which that means we're ever so close to the weekend. I clearly am already in weekend vibe modes based on my attire. So, you know, we're just trying to do our thing.
Yeah, we're
Uh,
feeling it. Yeah,
Big excited next weekend, big weekend for us.
yeah, big
Get,
boys
get all
weekend.
the boys together.
Oh yeah,
Oh
oh yeah.
man,
It's gonna be a good time. Some
yeah.
shenanigans. We are back today with our 87th episode. This is the NFC East episode where we'll break down that, but there's quite a bit of other information we got to go over too. Without further ado, let's hop right in. Go ahead, make sure you like the video, smash that subscribe button. But let's get cranking on Major League Baseball. And first thing I wanted to mention to you, because there's a lot of information we have coming up here in baseball, but Paul Skeens, he's really been on a tear. And it seems like I can't go anywhere without seeing some sort of clip or posting of him and his stats and what he's done through his first 60 games in the league and stuff like that. So just wanted to kind of open it up to you and have you kind of echo that sentiment or what you feel about him.
I think so. First of all, I just feel bad that he plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates, a team that is constantly rebuilding. The stat that my favorite stat that I saw recently. So when he started in the All Star game this year, he got 2 runs of run support in the first inning.
Hmm.
That's the most run support he has gotten in I pretty much all year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, that's the kind of he's gonna. There was a year that Felix Hernandez, I think Degrom did this too, where went something like 10-9, or I remember Felix Hernandez. It was like 14-12 with an ERA of 2, and he
Hmm.
won the Cy Young that year. And people got real mad because they're like, well, he lost 12 games. And it's like, sure, if you look at the 12 games he lost, he gave up 8 runs total in those games. I don't I don't know what you want.
Yeah.
You know, and Skeens is kind of going the same way at this point. And very clearly, I think he's gonna be the National League Cy Young Award winner. And I'm already on the get Paul Skeens out of Pittsburgh, please. Please.
Yeah, were you
Like,
surprised to not see him moved? Or
no. Because I this is what the Pirates do. They hang on to they had this with Garrett Cole for a long time. They're like, no,
Mhm.
we're gonna build around Garrett Cole. And then they do dumb things. They had the number 1 pick a few years ago, and they wasted it on this catcher named Henry Davis, who turned out to be a complete bust. And it's kind of the cycle of the Pirates, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, they'll move him in time. Like,
it's an
you
unfortunate
know,
thing.
and the
Uh
Pirates, the thing with the Pirates is they're gonna draw a ton of fans on days he starts,
yep,
and then in the ballpark's just gonna look sad when it's not.
when it's not him, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's and other teams will go, like their fans will travel to be able to watch him pitch. He's that
yeah.
good.
And Pittsburgh's park is a beaut. I've been there before to watch a game. It's one of the better parks in the league.
Mhm.
You're walking over the bridge and you see it, and it's just it's a beautiful stadium, man.
Yeah,
Just shitty baseball is usually being played there by their home team. So
kind of frustrating.
yeah,
Now that we're what, 2 weeks after the All-Star break? I guess it really hasn't been 2 weeks, but pretty close to it. We're starting to see like some of the direction teams are going in. Some got off to a really hot start, like your Red Sox, the Brewers before the break and stuff, and kind of after it. But after the break, the Tigers were in free fall mode,
yeah.
and kind of crazy. They've won four straight, but they're still up 9 games in the division, which is after having a streak as bad as they had, where I think they won 1 out of 10 games, and then for them to still be up 9 games in the division, kind of impressive.
And
Uh,
also too, at this point for the Tigers, the only team they really have to worry about is the Royals.
yeah,
Cleveland's kind of in a weird free fall. Their closer, who I talked about last week, is now is now on leave pending a gambling investigation.
yeah,
Uh, which did not see that coming.
I didn't
Yeah,
have
and
that
the
on my
Royals,
bingo card.
made some decent moves. They acquired Mike Yastrzemski from the Giants.
Hmm.
They're, I think, the only team that really at this point is going to try to contend with Detroit. And Detroit is just since June 1st, they are struggling hard, and
Yeah,
like unless it's Scooble pitching, like they're just a mess right now, man. And
yeah,
I don't think the moves that they made really make them any better.
yeah. I'm not sure Finnegan
Um,
was the answer, but he will help. But
yeah,
um,
especially when like there were some really good like relievers and some decent bats that were available at the deadline, and Detroit didn't really get any of those.
maybe it's that
Turns out
they,
Seattle got all the bats,
yeah.
and the Mets and Phillies got all, and the Padres got all the relievers.
Well,
Like it's fun.
we're gonna hit on that in a second. Before we jump into that, I just wanted to ask you kind of about that Bryce Harper and Rob Manfred confrontation that happened in the
Yeah,
locker room because that's a thing, and like it seems has he lost faith among the players, or like what's the deal with this, and like what does this really show?
yeah. So it's looking like so their collective bargaining agreement is up in 2026, and as it looks right now, like it looks like there might be a work stoppage,
Yeah,
which is really like which breaks my heart. But I also as a kid when the strike in 94 happened, I didn't really understand it at the time, and I was just mad at the players because it was like, you don't want to play baseball,
yeah,
like what the fuck,
yeah.
like 9-year-old me not getting to watch the World Series was like, what? Like, what? Okay, I guess. But as you get older, you learn more things, and you learn how the world works. And I like what it seems like the big point that's going to be is the owners want a salary cap, and that's cool. But like that also limits the amount that players can make, and like respectfully, like you know what I mean. Like you can't fault the players for like wanting to make as much money as possible. Like that's all of us are trying to do in this life. We're all trying to make like enough money to like be comfortable.
Well, so I'm
Like
I'm a little confused by that, and I may be biased coming from football, seeing like how the salary cap is implemented there. It could be different the way they apply it in baseball. Application matters a lot, but
sure.
these guys, it's not that they're not going to get their money. It seems like they just won't get their money from all the same place. And
Yeah, and
and
it
like
kind
I
of
would love to see that, honestly. Like I'd love to see a time that Tampa Bay was consistently relevant or had a chance. But there's some teams in the league right now that you just know they don't have a chance. And that's
but
super
that's
frustrating.
I think some of those teams, like I think that's just like because they're poorly run.
Poor
I think
ownership.
Tampa's
Yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah. Yep.
I think Tampa's actually a good example. Like Tampa is kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time, because like Tampa is a really well-run organization.
Hmm.
Now they just got sold, so maybe this ownership group will want to sink money into it. But like the problem with Tampa was always it wasn't that they didn't that it wasn't like a salary thing. Their owner just didn't want to spend money.
Hmm.
So they always would like you would see this where like they would get all these really good prospects, and they would draft well, and they're one of the better development teams in the league. And then you would see like, all right, cool, they're about to be free agents, and we can't afford them because our owner doesn't want to pay them.
Right.
So now we have to trade them. And then like that's kind of really not fair to Tampa. And like Tampa has managed to get to 2 World Series on that model. So like, I mean,
It's kind of you're right. They're kind of the anomaly in this situation.
yeah.
But
But like
it does
I
bode
well
well.
I think about the NBA, and
Hmm.
because I watch a lot of NBA, and so in this past collective bargaining agreement, the players really kind of so there was already kind of a cap in place, but it was like a soft cap,
Yeah.
and so this time they kind of lost out, and there's like a super restrictive hard cap now. And what you're kind of seeing because of that is like teams. So you're getting more parity in the league, which I guess is like fine, but like also it it doesn't reward you for like building teams the right way. And so and trying to retain those players, so like when it's time for them to re-sign, and you're like, well, I can only afford to keep one of these guys, like
That's
instead of being
frustrating.
able to afford, yeah, like
It's
I think that like I understand the salary cap in theory, but like also it's just going to restrict building teams, and you're not going to see like your favorite player staying on the same team for more than 3 years
Well,
because teams can't afford it.
isn't that the interesting piece? Like growing up, like that's the way I thought it was. Like it seemed like free agency was kind of the rarity that existed,
Yeah.
right? And these guys that you knew, like I knew Kenny Lofton played for the Indians, right? When
Hmm.
seeing him in a Braves uniform, I thought would be ideal, but he was way past his prime by the time he did that, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't feel as good as you thought it was going to feel when he was stealing 63 bases in a season for or 75 for the Indians, right?
Right.
Or at the time it was the Indians, the Guardians now. But
Yeah.
it's just that idea of there's some sort of mystical magic that exists with that that fantasy for fans growing up that seeing their favorite player stay on their team. You don't want to see Drake May play for the Bills in 3 years. You know, like it's
Yeah.
I don't think at least, right? Like it's
And
that's
you see this in the NFL though too, like where like you can't really keep a team around that long. Like you, you can, but like it's like the Patriots where like Tom Brady took massive pay
yeah,
cuts.
someone needs to take a massive pay cut and be willing to say like, all right, I'm gonna take no salary, right?
And
And
that's
the
like
guys
not
with the big endorsement deals can do that, right? Like Otani could show
yeah,
up and be like, I'm not taking salary. Like build a team around me. I'm not taking salary. Like he
yeah.
could do that because he gets so much money from Japan, from commercials, from media, merchandise, all sorts of stuff. I guarantee he doesn't even need the money he's making with the Dodgers. But
Yeah, and I think and speaking of that, I think that's the other thing that's gonna really come on the chopping block for this collective bargaining agreement is like deferred money. Because I think
yeah,
what the Dodgers did, like I honestly that's smart thinking outside the box,
yeah,
but like not every team can do that.
no,
And I
nope.
think
Because
and I
they don't
think
have
that
that guaranteed money coming through the door. They don't know it. The
yeah,
Dodgers know that even if baseball shut down today, they would be the very last team standing, right?
yeah,
Them or the
because
Yankees.
they're
Yep.
the Dodgers and they're an institution
Yeah,
and they
yeah, yeah.
play in one of the biggest markets.
Yep. The
Like,
MLB could shut down today and the Dodgers be like, we're starting our own baseball league. It will
no.
be us and someone else, right? Like, we're going to do it. But
Yeah. I think the thing is I think this there's gonna be a work stoppage and I hate saying this, but I think if you told me that this work stoppage was gonna go for a long time, I could see it.
wow, that's kind of sad.
I could see it, like because like I think this is kind of a pivotal moment, like, and this is it feels like a you know the owners have their line in the sand, and so do the players, and I who's gonna win out, like you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
We will have
So
to see within the next few weeks. Before, and hopefully we can, maybe not even in the next few weeks will we know. But before we jump into football, I just wanted to hit on some of these trades. Not all of them, because there was a lot of moves at the deadline. I'm not sure all
yeah,
of them are going to be important, but let's just hit on a few here. We've got Correa kind of returning to the Astros. Not kind of, but he is returning to the
yeah,
Astros.
and he's gonna
Um,
play third too.
yeah, interesting to see that because like the talk was last week like he's not going to waive his no trade clause and it's like, well, he might. Turns out he
Yeah,
did.
it kind of reminds me of in 2017. They traded for Verlander at the deadline, and then like they ran it back in 2020. I think it was like 2022. They traded for him again,
Yeah,
and like
from the
that
Mets, right?
yeah, from the
Yep.
Mets. Yeah, and it just kind of like that's kind of what this trade reeks of. It's just like, oh shit, you know what? Let's just get Correa back. It's fine. Like Correa's had a really rough season.
Yeah,
Like he has not been hitting well, but like I think maybe going back home, like
might
and getting to hit in that park, like
might
will do
change things
wonders
for
for
him.
him.
Yeah. They also get Sanchez from Miami, which I think is good for them. I don't know if it's like a, oh, okay, this puts them over the top type move, but uh, it provides other depth for them, which helps.
Yeah, and I think they need that going to the postseason because right now that AL West, like you see the moves that Seattle made,
Yeah. Yep.
like they got they got a Eugenio Suarez, they they have a lineup now around Cal Raleigh that is just terrifying,
Yeah, they were saying the like one through
terrifying.
six hitters are like a problem for people.
It really is,
Yeah.
and then Texas is still kind of like lurking around, and like so Houston just trying to add depth, like, makes sense.
It-
Like,
It's
they're just yeah,
it's kind of interesting with Seattle too. You typically think of the catcher position in the lineup, the batting lineup as a weaker hitting spot, right?
yeah, unless you're Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure that that holds true there, but it's kind of like having an extra solid, like very solid MVP bat in your lineup.
Yeah,
And now to add Suarez to that, big deal. You kind of touched on it before, but New York, both New York teams getting a lot of help in the bullpen. It seems like they scooped up all the relievers just about. Um,
yeah,
but I know a lot of it is going to be focused on the Yankees because of them trying to cover up foreseeable wounds from this Aaron
yeah,
Judge injury, which I think is going to have ripple effects. Um, you kind of saw it. Like they're making tons of moves. Caballero, they ended up taking him during the game. They signed him.
right.
You saw that? That's crazy. Like
Yeah,
it's just
the moves that the Yankees did, like, are classic Yankee moves. Like,
yeah.
the problem with the Yankees is they don't have the farm system to be able to trade for good prospects.
Hmm.
And so that's why you didn't see them get guys like Suarez and Johan Duran. Like, they had to settle for, like, respectfully to David Bednar, like, he's like he would I'm going to say something that's a little insulting, and I apologize in advance. David Bednar is the guy that would fit in really well in Atlanta's bullpen right now.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like, it's not great.
I
He's not
appreciate
great.
that. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially after yesterday. I don't know. You saw that fiasco, right?
I didn't want to bring it
Yeah, I
up,
don't
but
want
I'm
to talk
like,
about it, but yeah,
okay,
big
okay.
fiasco. Let's just say that's the way I feel about the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it ends positively, but like just turn it off after the eighth and just be like, all right, whatever. Drinking bleach
I
in
mean,
the right, like
glass half full. They won the game in 10 innings.
yeah, amazing. Thank you for that. Wow. Um, you are awesome. Thank you.
I tried, man.
Let's
I
talk
tried.
about the Mets because
Yeah,
there's no better way to swallow the Braves than to think about the Mets. So, do you think they have the excuse me the best bullpen in the league now? With the moves that they made at the deadline because they made a lot. I think it was like two full Instagram posts I had to send you of all the moves that they made.
yeah. No, so the Mets bullpen was kind of shaky minus Edwin Diaz, and
Yeah.
like they now have a bullpen that is just loaded.
Well, we've seen
Like,
it in the postseason, right? In 2001 with the Braves, I think it was 0-2 with the Dodgers, right? Maybe the Mets then 0-4 with the Dodgers. As they came through, their bullpens were basically pushing them through the World Series, like through the postseason and, towards a World Series win. And if you can pick up a win off of a bullpen game in the
yeah,
postseason, that's huge because these pitchers that you have, your starting pitchers, they grind through the regular season. But when it comes postseason, they get a little bit of a break. They're pitching every 6 days instead, 7 days.
yeah, and like, especially with closers too, a lot of times you have a day off in between games, which
Yeah,
means like you can really kind of tax your bullpen even more.
yeah,
Like, and that's kind of how you can do it. Like you said, you saw it with the Braves in 2021. You saw it with Arizona in 2023. Weirdly, they rode that bullpen all the way to the World Series. The Dodgers last year did the same thing. Like,
yeah.
their starting pitching was kind of a mess, but that bullpen was just lights
And
out.
that's
Like,
crazy that you're saying it's a mess compared to how it was this year,
yeah,
right? Like it's nuts.
yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, the Mets really like they and we're going to talk about it. The Phillies have kind of decided, you know what, this NL East race is a two-team race.
yeah.
The rest of the division can kind of go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't I don't think anyone in that division is going to be pushing, even as much as it pains me to say so. But
yeah,
yeah, Phillies and Mets is going to have some incredible games coming up
and
here.
it, like the Phillies gave up some like decent prospects, but they got Johan Duran, and I think I was telling you this last night in chat. Like, he he's a really good closer from Minnesota. He's under team control for another 3 years after this,
Yeah.
which is huge. Phillies had to give up some good prospects for him, but like the thing that like is his kind of his shtick is he comes out to the Undertaker's theme music,
Hmm.
and the city of Philadelphia is going to go nuts for this guy.
Yeah.
They are going to fall in love with him so quick.
Yeah.
It's going to be great to see. Like,
As long as he pitches well, I think that will happen.
yeah,
What one last thing I wanted to mention about baseball before we move on to the NFL, because I think this is kind of big news, and you probably are. It's on your radar more, but Mason Miller going to the Padres.
did
Um,
not did not see that coming.
yeah,
Um,
not only that, but like the other side of that, it seems like this could be a potentially like franchise changing move for the Athletics. And
yeah, so the A's got some. So San Diego has one of the best farm systems in the league,
mhm,
and they got some really good prospects. And I like the Padres are, I think, are going to come to regret that. Like Mason Miller, great closer.
mhm,
Um, it honestly it puts the Padres in really good contention because we talked about like the Mets and the Phillies having really kind of solidified their bullpens.
yeah.
San Diego's bullpen now too is top notch, and like you're throwing a guy like Mason Miller in there, great. Like, and it's a pitcher's park. Like that's the thing. Like you know what I mean. Like I'm excited, but I'm gonna call them the not Oakland days because they're still the Oakland days in my brain.
Yeah.
Um, the players they picked up, like they're kind of amassing a farm system now that like I'm kind of excited to see where this goes. I really am. Like
DeVry,
oh
that's
man.
his name, DeVry. They say like he could be
Mhm.
like he's what the number three prospect, and that usually never happens in terms of trades at the deadline.
Yeah.
Getting a top 100 prospect traded to another farm system. So, uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I yeah. The A's are gonna man, like I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. I clearly they're punting on the season, and to be honest with you, they won more games than I thought they were going to this year.
Hmm.
Nick Krutz and Jack Wilson have been like outstanding for them. And
Yeah.
Wilson just went on the IL.
Yeah.
But like honestly, like they have that, they have Brent Rooker, like they have a really good young nucleus of like a lineup now, and
Hmm.
it's man, I just hope there's ownership like actually spends money. Like, cause that, oh man, there's a potential they could be really good in like 5 years. And that's really exciting to see.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eye on that because it could be something special. And I know DeVries only in single A right now, but he's
Yeah.
still kind of young too. I think he's only 18 or 19, but
Yeah.
good thing
And
to
he
keep
could
our
be a
eyes on.
bust. He
Yeah,
could be a bust for all we
yeah,
know. But like, cause that's the thing with prospects is like you never know, man.
right.
You never know. Like, so
All right. So moving on to the NFL, we're gonna go through these kind of quick so we can get into our NFC East previews. But first one, Rashawn Slater becomes the highest paid offensive lineman in the league. Any issues with that?
no,
Nah, I call him
nah,
typewriter
man,
legs.
he's
Yeah,
really good.
yeah.
Like that's honestly like I'm glad they paid him.
He's a big
That's
man, big
yeah,
man. So,
yeah,
really happy for him and just an awesome player. Really is. When he's been in there, he's
yeah,
been super productive, and it's noticeable when he's on the field.
yeah.
Next up, Shamar Stewart. His deal gets done with the Bengals, which is awesome. And also to parlay in that, he's happy to be there, which
Yeah,
is, I mean, that's a good thing. Trey Hendrickson's decided to end his holdout, but there's still no deal on the table. But he's in the building now, and I feel like that's a much better place to be than him out on his own for the next 8 weeks, right? So I really like
yeah.
that.
It sounds like from what like I've read, he was like saying, I think I was reading this in the Athletic. He was saying that like he did it because he knew like he was like, okay, this is a sign of like good faith that we're gonna negotiate in good faith.
Right. Yeah.
And like,
He seems very smart, by the way, and like not unreasonable. You
yeah,
know, not unreasonable.
yeah.
Um,
So
Hopefully that
uh
gets done soon because otherwise, and I think that's kind of what Dallas is waiting on, as they always wait, right? Like Dallas is always the latest, and they just I hate to say it, but they overpay for their guys because the rest of the market's already been set, and they need to
yeah,
break the market at that point. So, um, maybe Dallas is waiting on his deal to get done, and then they'll find out what to do
which
with
is
Parsons.
which is dumb
Yeah,
because
again,
Micah Parsons is going to have a monster season, and then this is kind of be like the Jamar Chase of on the defense side, where Jamar Chase they were like the Bengals were like, "Hey, we're not going to give you that extension," and then Jamar Chase was like, wait, watch this.
Yeah.
I'm going to lead the league in every receiving category possible by a mile, and
Yep.
now you have to pay
Yeah.
me.
Now you have to pay me big, big
Yeah,
money.
you have to pay me even more than what I wanted before. So
And with Micah, it could be dangerous for them too.
yeah,
Okay. So, Cordarrelle Patterson, did you see this?
this was
Okay,
hilarious.
so he gets caught by the Steelers on his off day, and instead of Adam Schefter releasing it, he put out his own news post on Twitter and basically said like they cut me on my day off.
The
Like
NFL's a hard business, man. It's a hard business,
he
you know.
this guy's awesome though, and he's been really like a good player in the league for quite a few years. Like just a very difficult. He played for the Pats for a bit,
Sure
but
did.
he's moved
I
around a
love
lot.
having him.
Yeah, it seems like he's been liked everywhere he's been. He's got a nose for the end zone, but maybe he'll land with someone. He's still very big, very physical, and a very good returner. In addition to being a good running back,
Somebody will pick him up. They have to.
somebody will. Yeah.
Like,
Well, and this is what we're getting into next is going to prove that because there's been injuries have already started for a lot of teams, but I think the biggest one I've seen so far, other than there's been a few ACLs that I've seen for defensive backs, Tyler Guyton, this injury, so he's got
yeah,
a bone fracture that's going to keep him out 6 to 8 weeks. Now, not a huge deal because we're at the end of July, not a good deal at all, but like
no,
basically the first few weeks of the season, right? So we could say the first month Dallas during that time, and again, this is one of the tackles, right, for Dak Prescott. Uh, the teams they've got to go up against during this time are the Eagles, the Giants, the Bears, and the Packers. None of
yeah,
those teams do I feel good about, like going in without my starting tackle being there to protect my quarterback. So
right,
it's going to be a very rough transition, I think, for Dallas at the beginning of the year. And that kind of changes things in terms of my idea of how they're going to do on the season. Because missing
yeah,
a tackle like that, like you anticipate you're going to have injuries, but missing that's just a really really big deal. So
yeah.
um,
That's kind of a recipe for. Oh man, here we go. Like this, that reeks to me like your team's gonna have a season from hell. If like you're missing your tackle, that like there's a domino effect that happens because of that. Like,
well, yeah, and I just wanted to double check on that to make sure. But yeah, this is the blindside tackle for Dak Prescott. So it's
yeah,
not a oh okay we can just get over this. It's going to be no big deal. Like it there this is something that's going to have to be monitored. And the guy backing him up, which it looks like right now, is Nate Thomas. I don't know how that's going to work out, but
yeah,
hopefully they're able to get that figured out. Um, so good luck to Alice with that. Raymond, listen, he gets a 4 year deal from the Colts, which was really really good. I mean, it's $100 million deal, but we only really care about the guaranteed money. But this was a move that made sense to me that the Colts were
sure,
making. And he's been very good for the Colts so far, and they're doing it before the market rises. I know that's going to happen again
yeah.
in the off season. So
Honestly, it's smart giving him that deal now. Yeah, because yeah,
you know what's been interesting too? I've been hearing buzz that apparently there's no quarterback controversy in Indy at all. It's been
yeah,
Anthony Richardson like dominating. So I don't know
yeah.
if that's the case or not, but
I read a story the other day, and I meant to send it to you because it was just kind of funny, and it just essentially talked that like Daniel Jones has done really nothing in camp to
mhm.
like help himself win the job, and I just think that like that's kind of funny. Like,
Yeah, that's it's a little unsettling too. I don't feel like Daniel Jones is that kind of player, right? Like
no,
where he can't show something, right? He's done it in the league before, had some success, right? But
right,
I don't know.
yeah,
Uh, we will see. And there's still a few more weeks, few more preseason games for people to make tons of mistakes and get benched. So
can't wait,
or cut. So
can't
and
wait.
plus there's still a lot of good free agents still available as well out there.
Yeah,
But Isaiah Likely, he's got a small fracture in his foot. I know there's been an update on that. He's going to miss a couple weeks and stuff. I think he had to get surgery on that.
mhm,
I think that's what it
yeah,
was. Is that right? Okay.
yeah,
So he's going to end up getting surgery on that. He should be okay. Terry McLaurin, he requested a trade. He's sick of not getting paid. Just kind of, you think it's the right move, or what's the deal for this?
We're gonna talk about this when it comes to Washington, in our preview today. I just This reeks of me like I'm all for getting paid. You know that. I'm pro player. I This feels like the start of a weird season for Washington.
Hmm.
And yeah, man. Especially if he's gonna hold out. Like, I don't know, man. I just like I have like we're gonna talk about with Washington. I think they're gonna regress this year. And they're just kind of like this weird house of cards that like at some point, like Augusta Wind's gonna blow them over and it's not gonna be good. So
Yeah, I listen, I see it similar to kind of how and I group these guys with like when they came into the league, right? So like I look at the guys that came into the league with Terry McLaurin, right? AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, both of them got paid and he's kind of looking at them and being like, "Okay, well one of their teams won a Super Bowl and went to another one, right? DK Metcalf didn't, but he's getting paid, right? Where's my money? Like I've been here, I get my team to like my team's been bad, right? I've played for some bad quarterbacks, but like
yeah,
last year,
the fact that he's produced with bad quarterbacks is impressive.
yeah, and like last year his team gets to the NFC Championship. It's like you're gonna go out and get Debo Samuel, like pay me, bro, pay me,
Yeah,
give me a raise, you know. And I don't think he's asking for Jamar Chase numbers. I think he's more in line with like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I honestly think he's probably a little bit below that, but this dude's a good player, right? He's a
dude,
very
yeah.
good receiver.
5 straight 1,000 yard receiving seasons.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
his rookie year, he was like 80 off from 1,000 yards. Like always consistent. He has 38 career touchdowns. Like
yeah.
that's pretty. And like last year, he was a big reason why they went as far as they did. Like
Yeah,
1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns. Like
yeah, the best year he had, I think, in terms of touchdowns by a long shot. But also, when you look at it too, like, and I know you don't get paid for this, but being that type of quality veteran leader that he is,
yeah,
like, you want that guy in there and you want him happy. So
I didn't looking at his stats real quick. I didn't realize he's already played 6 years in the league.
yeah, kind of
I
crazy.
kind of forget. Yeah,
It
it's
goes by
wild.
really, really quickly. But you could see he's been effective, and those are before Jaden Daniels got there, right? Those
Yeah,
stats you're looking at. That's nuts. Okay, moving on. The Bengals, they ended up signing Noah Fant. We just talked about him, what, last week, the week before, and here he
mhm,
is signed now with the Bengals. I don't think it moves the needle much for me, but maybe gives them a veteran defender out there, a veteran blocker, or someone that maybe can catch a third down pass once in a while. I don't
yeah.
know if he becomes the starter here. I don't see that happening, but uh, yeah,
I almost think that anybody that Cincinnati signs to like catch passes is gonna. I just always think they're gonna benefit because like
yeah,
so much attention is gonna be on Higgins and Chase that like
they should
I
be
don't know,
running
man.
open.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like you're gonna get some like opportunities.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Last thing before we get into the NFC East breakdown, we had the Hall of Fame game last night. Kind of interesting too, as we look through that. The Hall of Fame game. First of all, congrats to the inductees, right? Sterling
yeah,
Sharp, Antonio Gates, Eric Allen, Jared Allen, all great players. I didn't see much of the starters in this first game, so there really wasn't a ton to watch. Like some of the big names to look out for, Omari and Hampton. I was really excited about him, but he only had 2 carries. There was really nothing for him. I
yeah,
was like, that's kind of lackluster. He had a decent run where he kind of pushed the pile a little bit, but it got called back, I think, on holding. But then Kamani Vidal, listen, I mean, he rocked out a bit in this game, right? Like, yeah, he only got 9 carries and stuff, but a couple of touchdowns and stuff. He's probably going to be the third guy in that running back rotation behind Najee Harris, or he could sneak out of him. You don't know.
wait.
Um,
I just want to say, can you talk about Najee Harris? Like, I don't know if he's gonna be ready for the season.
yeah.
I think there's kind of needs to be acknowledged. Like, there's no timetable on the return for his like eye injury because of
Yeah,
fireworks.
yeah, there's some stuff that's come out with that. Hopefully, it doesn't cost him any playing time, but they said it initially. They had said like it's just not superficial. They used a different word for it, but not a big deal. So
I
hopefully,
don't know, man. If there's no timetable for your return, that feels like that's kind of a big deal.
does. Um, Last thing in there, Trey Lance played well, which was really good to see. And like before the
Yeah,
game started, I saw Jim Harbaugh on the sideline, like kind of hyping him up a bit, and I realized like Trey Lance, this could be a great spot for him to learn behind Justin Herbert, Harbaugh there. Like he needs a guy that's
Yeah.
going to instill confidence in him, and I think Harbaugh's that dude. And this team should be in games where they're up in the fourth quarter by a couple touchdowns, and Trey Lance can see some time. So maybe he
That's
can
the
he can grow in
that's the
this.
thing is we've never really seen Trey Lance. Like he had when he finally started, he got hurt in his first game. And
Yeah,
then like
and I think it was the first series, man. Like
yeah, like
there was big hype around him that year. Big
and then
hype.
Brock Purdy came in and took over, and
Mm-hmm.
well, that's kind of all they wrote. Like,
Yeah.
and he never got to play really in Dallas, and so like,
Nope.
hopefully he's able to find a spot, man, and like maybe like get some reps, get some tape, and like somebody will maybe somebody will take a flyer on him.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Anything else you wanted to mention about that? Uh, about the Hall of Fame game before we jump into these?
No, it just for me marks like kind of the official start of the NFL season, which just means like we're now at a point where like there's football on Sundays
Yes, there
until
is.
February, and god damn it, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
God damn it.
it's gonna be great. Yeah, let's jump into that. So, New York Giants, we've got first, right? They finished fourth in the NFC East last year at 3-14. They were swept in the division and only won one game at home all year, which was pretty bad. But
Yeah.
basically, we understand the Daniel Jones experiment is over, and I know that was kind of before last year. I know he ended up spending time with Minnesota last year, but like
Mhm.
we know that kind of regime has moved on now, right? We still have Dayball there. We still have Shane there as GM, but what they tried to do is that they grabbed a few guys through free agency, not a lot, but a lot of like older veteran guys, right?
What a quarterback room this is. What a
Yeah.
quarterback
Oh,
room. I'm
okay.
so goddamn excited to talk about it.
Yeah, man. Okay. So, um, first, before we jump into that, because that's going to be a fun one to discuss, they get Victor Dumakiji from Arizona, who I think he had some good success getting after the quarterback there. But they needed to find a way to replace Onjulari, who ended up going to Philly. It was a big deal for them to lose him in the division, and I think he's going to wreak havoc on them this year because of it. But
Yeah.
the majority of their signings went on the defensive side of the ball. I say that because I mean the majority of the ones that made sense went to the defensive side of the ball. So you get Javon Holland, Paulson Adebo, which both of those are going to provide great secondary help for you as well, immediate secondary help. And they got some more rotational guys along the defensive line to be able to help out. But I think this defense is going to be the strong suit of this team. Uh,
Oh, not even close.
oh man, well,
Not
so
even
now
close.
tell them about the power of brotherhood in the quarterback room.
Oh boy. So as it stands right now, okay, the quarterback room is this. It is Russell Wilson, and I'm gonna save my favorite for last.
Okay.
They traded back up to the first round to get this guy named Jackson Dart,
Yep.
which honestly I don't think they could have needed to do that.
Oh,
Like they
have
could have
faith
just
in him.
got him
He's
in
going
like
to be good.
they got him in the second. They could have got him in the second round just fine.
Yeah.
Our boy Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito,
Oh my
and
God.
then the person that we love to talk about, Jameis Winston. What a quarterback room. What a quarterback room. I'm so excited.
The only way that could get better is if we could change Scatabo to quarterback as well.
Yeah.
That would just be the scattiest
I
quarterback
a
room
quick
ever.
a quick Jameis Winston tangent. I was reading the other day and I had forgotten about this. Do you remember the season in 2019 he had? He threw for over 30 touchdowns, 30 picks, and 5,100 yards.
Yeah. Yep. I had him in fantasy
Set
that year. He was magical.
set the all-time record for most pick sixes in a season.
Yeah.
Just just a magical season
Dude,
that he
this was
had.
the
I
mindset
just
every week. You start him just knowing, like, okay, he's going to get -8. He's throwing 4 picks this game. But if he throws 3 touchdowns, well, like, that kind of offsets it. And they're going to be
yeah.
losing. So he's going to be throwing from behind. You just knew. But
Yep.
his personality is next level, man. He really kills it. That
Yeah.
quarterback room is going to be very interesting. All jokes aside, there's a lot of knowledge in that room. Between
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, like they provide a lot of knowledge. Super Bowl winner, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a big deal. But they also use the draft, like you had mentioned, Jackson Dart. They end up grabbing. They trade back into the first round to grab him. But really, they used the first pick that they had, that third overall pick, on a game changer in Abdul Carter.
It's everything I've been reading in camp, like in camp, he's already playing with the first team. So he started on second team, and
Yeah,
he absolutely decimated everybody on the second team. So they were like, okay, let's move him up to first string. He's absolutely decimating everybody on the first team too.
yeah, it
So
makes me wonder because they got a lot of guys, right? Sexy Dexy on the defensive
yeah,
line, Brian Burns, Carter, and now Thibodeau. Like I have to believe Thibodeau's got to be the man out there, right? Maybe they can keep them all on the field at the same time, but like there was rumors of them possibly trading him. I don't know if anything's gonna come about with that. As I mentioned, they drafted Scatabo out of Arizona State, which it looks like he's quickly become a fan favorite, but like there's opportunity for him to maybe become the starter here, from what I've seen.
yeah. He's gotta overtake Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary, but like I think he could easily do that.
Singletary, he'll do that with easy, but I don't know. Tracy's a fairly good running back, so we'll see how quickly he picks up the system, and maybe we'll get some eyes on him this weekend in some of the preseason games. But in my mind, I think the defense definitely got better throughout the draft. But my big thing is for them on offense, right? Like, where is Malik Neighbors is a freak playmaker in this league, right? Like, I think anyone can say like he's a top 10 receiver already. Like the guy's got an incredible wingspan, makes acrobatic catches, is a playmaker on his own, and can really do damage with the ball in space. But where's the other guy on this team that you're afraid of? Because you could throw two guys on him, maybe he could still come down with the ball, right? Like he's fairly lanky, he can get up and elevate, but and he's got really good hands. But there's no one else on this team right now that I'm looking at that I'm like, okay, this is the guy that's going to beat us. And that's what I think this team really needs to add. And I hope we don't see Jackson Dart this year. I hope they let the veterans kind of handle the quarterback room and he just sits
So,
there and learns, because it's shown that, like, as painful as that is, it's really beneficial for the guys that learn, right?
yeah,
So I don't know. I just think they need to have another great season from Neighbors. I think that's going to happen for them. And you've already seen some of that develop a little bit with Russell Wilson, some of the plays that they've had in practice and stuff. But I just hope they don't get unpredictable quarterback play. You don't need to do something like beyond. You just need to go out and try to be able to run the ball, complete the passes, let the defense get the ball back for you. And I think this
yeah.
defensive unit, they're, I mean, the problem is this team's not going to win a lot of games if the defense can't give up less than 10, right? And the defense is
Yep.
really good at that, right? Like they're very good. If I told you, listen, this defense is going to give up more than 20 points 3 times this year or 4 times this year,
Yeah,
it,
I'd believe it.
yeah, there's a chance it's believable. But I think the way this team is going to win games is 14-12, 10-7, like that. They got to
They're
be able
gonna
to,
have to
yeah, they got to be able to capitalize on points.
because respectfully with the Giants, like their offensive line is pretty trash.
They are.
Um, oh, apologize for the people driving by. Yeah, no, their offensive line's pretty trash. Their quarterback, like, no offense to Russell Wilson, but I think it's kind of telling that Pittsburgh was like, nah, we're good. We saw enough. We're good. Um, yeah, I think for them, like this is a year. I think they're gonna not really they're gonna be in contention for the number one pick in the draft.
They will be, yeah.
And I think that like it's gonna get Brian Dayball and Joe Sheen fired, you'd think.
Yeah.
Um, Joe Sheen should have been fired after last off season's the way he handled that. But I like I said, I don't see them winning a lot of games this year. Like I think that defense is gonna win them 2 games.
Ooh.
I don't know where they're getting any other wins from. So when it like comes to like record, I think they're gonna go 2-15. Like they are gonna be truly atrocious this year.
Yeah, I have them winning 3 games this year. And I mean, just look at the opening gauntlet to the schedule, right? At Washington, at Dallas, Kansas City, the Chargers, at New Orleans, Philly, at Denver, at Philly, at San Francisco. Like, you could tell me they win one game in that stretch or
And
zero.
that's New Orleans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and I'd believe that. I'd believe that. And I don't even know if they'll beat New Orleans at New Orleans. I don't
no.
know. Um, Very interesting. Yeah. So definitely fourth in the NFC East for them. The
Yeah.
Cowboys moving on. They finished last year third. Even with 7 wins, they finished third. But it amazes me that every year we talk about this team, right? And like Jerry makes them relevant, that they have Super Bowl aspirations every year. I remember every single year since I started watching football in the late 90s that we're always talking about Dallas every year, no matter what. Every other team has come and gone. The Patriots have come and gone. The Colts have come and gone. All of these teams, right? The Steelers, the Packers, but the Cowboys, every year we talk about them having Super Bowl aspirations. And it's just, I don't know, it's comical. I can't remember the last time they won a memorable playoff game. I don't have a signature memory from the Dallas Cowboys in my head of like I remember when they made that play. I remember a lot of plays made
Yeah.
against them, like Rodgers throwing a 40-yard bomb on the sideline and completing that ball and Dallas losing that game. But there's not many Dallas memories that go in my mind. And like Jerry pays a lot of money for them to stay in the news cycle. It's just I don't know.
Yeah. When I think of Dallas memories this century, easily the number one memory is T.O. like doing the thing on the star and then him just getting smoked.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is sad, right? Your team should
yeah.
have a better memory than that, right?
My
It
my
just
second best memory, I think, is T.O. also when they lost in the playoffs and him crying that like Tony Romo was his quarterback. He's like, "That's my quarterback." It's like, all right, all right,
two amazing moments.
yeah,
But listen, it was a disappointing year last year, right? Like Dak gets hurt, the team spiraled from there. And like a lot of teams, it's difficult to have your backup quarterback lead you to fruition. But there was some good games out of Cooper Rush, but the team just felt older. The defense did not look good. Um, and the team needed to add a playmaker besides CeeDee Lamb. And I think they tried to do that, but this is one thing I wanted to point out about the defense. They gave up at least 20 points in every single game except four last year.
yeah.
I went back and looked at the schedule. I was like, this isn't the type of Dallas defense we've been accustomed to knowing, right? Like, your premier pass rusher is now pissed off because you're in the media spouting stuff. Like,
Speaking of, I saw this come across like an hour ago.
yeah,
Uh, I guess according to NFL Network, he's considering a trade request because he and the Cowboys are still super far apart on
yeah,
contract
I don't blame
thing.
him. I told you he's going to end up in New England.
Don't
So,
tease me like that. God
yeah,
damn it.
it's going to
Don't.
happen.
It's never going to happen. You and I both know that.
Right.
God.
So we already talked about a lot of these recently, but through free agency, listen, they add George Pickens, which this trade was big news because they feel like they added a star, or like they traded for a star in Pickens to add next to CeeDee Lamb. And there's been really good reports of him out of Dallas so far, but
Yeah.
I base it on of like the whole lineage of it of how someone acts, not okay in these specific moments. Things are going right now, but when they start out 0-4 or if they start out dropping the first two games, how's his attitude change? Is he there pumping
Right.
guys up? Like what is he providing? So, and he's a very polarizing player, like just in his own nature, right? They added Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders to the backfield, which seems good because Blue, there's reports that he looks like lazy and uninterested. uh, Can you imagine that if someone was like, "Oh yeah, what's your feedback on him?" He seems uninterested in football. I mean, it's
All
wild.
right.
They added Robert Jones to help kind of offset Zach Martin's retirement because that's a very big deal. Like again, we lost three centers this past year to retirement, and just I mean, all of them were very, very good at being able to dictate the flow of the game. So it's going to take us. It's a skill that needs to be ascertained by Robert. We'll see if that happens. But let's see. What else did they do? Added a lot on defense, right? Dante Fowler, they bring him in. Solomon Thomas, um, and then Osa. That's going to be a tough one, right? Osa Odigizimwa. That's very difficult. But
Honestly, you nailed that better than I would have.
yeah, I
So,
don't think I did a great job. I did it better while practicing than I did just now. But he's a very good deal that Dallas ended up signing him because they locked him up for 4 years, which is massive. But he just provides like an interesting dynamic opposite of Parsons. And this is a thing that I feel with any team, whether it's a team playing with Miles Garrett or Aiden Hutchinson or TJ Watt, all of these guys are going to get better stats because these players are on the field, right? Like the attention that a Micah Parsons draws frees him up to be able to get and pad more stats, right? And it's not all about padding stats. It's about winning the game, all of that stuff, making plays, but it allows these guys to do those things having a premier player on your like on the defensive line next to you or opposite on the end, right? Rushing the passer, right? Or if you're a really good cornerback like Patrick Surtain and you've got a great cornerback on the other side, like those are the things that really help you and help your stats because they're focused on that one other person, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they really need to get that figured out with what's going on with Micah Parsons, and hopefully it doesn't result in a trade because that's the last thing you want. And the last piece of that I want to add is if Micah Parsons goes somewhere else and gets traded somewhere, can you imagine the first time he plays Dallas?
Yeah.
He may try to get 10 sacks in the game.
Yeah.
He may. Yeah, I mean, tell me I'm wrong, man. It would be if they traded him, and you know what would happen? You say, "Oh, don't tease me about New England." He could end up in Philly. Don't say it can't be done.
No, it could. It could. You're
You
right.
if
Like,
you woke up tomorrow and we're like, "Oh my God, he got traded to Philly," would you be surprised? Initially, probably, right?
no, I think I would. My question would be, what kind of blackmail does Howie Roseman have on Jerry
Yeah,
Jones?
yeah, yeah. Why do people keep picking up the phone for this guy?
Yeah. Wait. So, wait. Micah Parsons and Jalen Carter playing the same team now. Neat.
Yeah.
Neat. Cool.
Let's see. So in the draft, they went after Tyler Booker. He's just an absolute beast from Alabama, but he's going to be their day one starter at guard, which should definitely help them out quite a bit. Blue, we already talked about him, them supposedly feeling like he's disinterested or bored, which is kind of scary. But is Dak really healthy? Is the question for me? And can Schottenheimer get this figured out in year one?
Yeah, I mean, I think Dak is probably healthy, but like if he has a shitty offensive line, it's not really gonna matter. Um, and Brian Schottenheimer, like, cool option for coach, I guess. Like it just feels like I don't know, like that just it's fine, I guess, but like I just feel like they could have had better choices.
They did have
But they're
better
Dallas and they
choices.
refuse to like do their homework on anything and wait till the last second. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
they do.
Deion Sanders and Bill Belichick were in this hiring cycle. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
nobody's the NFL is done with Bill Belichick, and like that's I that makes me sad, but like it's yeah, they're done with him. To be honest with you, like they have an easy schedule though, like, but I don't trust that they have enough talent. Here's the thing, I don't trust with them offensively.
yeah.
They still don't really have a running back. Like apparently they think that you don't need to run the ball, and I think that's a grave error they're making. Two, are we really sure that George Pickens is going to be a model citizen this season? I
No.
know it's a contract year for him, but like the kind of the book is out on him that like if you can just get under his skin, you can draw 15-yard penalties against him all
Easily.
day, all
Easily.
day. And like he's going to play in a lot of big TV games where the pressure is going to be really on him, and
Hmm.
like I don't trust. I've seen enough of him in Pittsburgh that Pittsburgh's like, you know what, we're good. Like, so I don't know, man.
Yeah. How do you have them finishing this year?
I think they're going to finish 7-10. To be completely honest with you, I like their schedule's easy enough. I think you can figure out 7 wins with them.
Yeah.
I just, I still don't like. I watched a lot of them last year. Defensively, they were awful,
Hmm.
and I don't really know how they got much better.
Yeah, that I know they made some trades for Kenneth Murray and stuff, but I don't know. Bringing in Dante Fowler, Solomon Thomas, but I'm not sure that moves the needle to like make me feel good about this team. You know,
Yeah,
I have them finishing 7-10 as well. I think they're going to be third in this division, and I think it's not close. I think the top two teams are quite a ways above Dallas right now.
yeah, I
Um,
agree.
Okay, next one we have Washington Commanders. They're second in the NFC East last year at 12-5. They overachieved in many people's eyes, making it to the NFC Championship game, having that great display against Detroit in the playoffs. But they lost pretty handily to the Eagles. If I'm not mistaken, they gave up 50 points to the Eagles in that game, um, who were the
That's
eventual Super Bowl champs. But
Yeah, that game was kind of weird though, and that like they hung with Philly for like a half,
mhm.
and then that was very much a young team that tried pressing, and that Philly defense was just like, oh cool, you have to throw it every down. Great. Like, and you saw that Philly defense when you have to pass against them,
They become
it's
very
over.
dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we saw a
So
lot of really good things. The crazy catch last year, Jaden Daniels' growth, the way Dan Quinn kind of swirled this organization into like a theme of positivity was really impressive this year. This past year, rather. But they carried that attitude with them into free agency. They added Laramie Tunzel and Debo Samuel, which was really big for them. And they signed some other guys along the way, but they mostly depth pieces to be able to bring in. They did add a couple of your former Patriots to the team, and
yeah.
Wise and Osborne and Jonathan Jones. But yeah, they basically, and it's kind of what you expect any year for a second year coach in there is bringing in some more veterans that they trust that they know will fit their system and again filling some of those spots through the draft as well. They ended up taking this big tackle out of Oregon, which some thought he would transition to guard, but as of now they have him starting at right tackle. We'll see what happens, but um, we basically have to see how things are going to go when the season gets along, right? Laramie Tunzel, there was reports that he really wasn't doing what he was supposed to in Houston. How's he going to play in this offense? How do things go? And kind of seeing that piece. But one thing that I did want to mention in the draft was they ended up drafting this guy Trey Amos, which was an interesting pick for me because they really needed cornerback, um, and they get their press corner in Amos, but now Saren still can move into the slot where they drafted him last year out of Michigan, and like that's where he's used to playing. So they're doing smarter things as a football team that I really like, and I feel like in years past, I thinking back the past 25 years, I don't remember Washington making these types of moves. So it's really good to see this organization kind of figuring it out. I know they're trying to deal with the McLaurin deal. We just talked about that before, but like it feels like this organization is moving in the right direction, and I haven't felt that way in the previous 24 out of the 25 years I've been watching them. Uh,
Um okay. And this is I think my kind of like biggest one of two hot takes that I'm gonna have. The other ones with the Lions when we do them I think like next week.
yeah.
I think Washington's gonna regress this year.
Hmm.
And I say that because respectfully, that defense, a lot of dudes on that defense are kind of old.
They're getting old. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I understand bringing Von Miller in as like a leadership guy, cool, but like Von Miller doesn't necessarily stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
think he's going to
I
be on a
just
limited basis, anyways.
the McLaurin thing kind of worries me because I think that could be like a distraction.
Yeah.
And I just there's a year of tape now on Jaden Daniels, and I just think that like I think what he did his rookie year was insane and incredible, and I think Washington's in a really good place.
Hmm.
I just think there's a whole year of tape on him now, and I think that and maybe Jaden Daniels, like maybe he adapts and he just gets better and better. Um, the other thing that like still worries me, and I think will always worry me about him, is the dude is 210 pounds.
Yeah.
Like the dude is kind of like wiry, and
Hmm.
like he lucked out. Like I think he missed a game last year due to injury, but like I just kind of worry about that. I think they're still going to finish second in this division.
Yeah.
I just think there's going to be a regression with
Hmm.
them.
How many games do you have them winning?
I think they're gonna win 10. I think they're gonna go
Okay.
10-7.
I did
I think
11
they're
and
gonna
6 for
contend.
them. Yeah.
I think they're gonna contend for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
I think I just the McLaurin thing really worries me. And like respectfully, has Debo ever played a full season?
Yeah, he has the one year that I don't know if it was a full season that year, but he
Yeah,
had one real big year where he had like 8 rushing touchdowns and stuff. I think he was healthy every game that year. I got to check though.
you. I remember you and I having this argument last year that like I was still pretty high on Debo Samuel, and I couldn't understand like
Why I
why you were
wasn't.
kind of out on him,
And
and
then
then I
I
was like,
watched then I watched wide receiver
yeah,
and I loved him and I felt bad for ever saying anything bad about him because he seems like a really genuine good guy.
sure,
And
dude
then
can't
he
stay
goes out
healthy,
and
man.
drops a dud last year when it should have been primed for him to just pop off all year. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, I just again, like I said, I just worry about kind of like clubhouse stuff with them, like where I yeah, and I think they're a team too. I think a lot of people are like kind of blowing smoke up their ass.
Yep.
And like I sometimes that worries me.
I still, if the things that you said happen, right? Jaden Daniel stays healthy, the team can stay somewhat healthy and play fairly well this year. I still think they're dangerous in a wild card game for a team,
Sure.
and could surprise someone because all they need, they've shown it. All they need is a few things to go their way, and they can flip the game on its head. So, and they relish being the underdog that people think they're undeserving. Someone who's not an underdog, the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Our Super Bowl champions. Like people are hating even harder than they were before, and this is funny. I give them the first month of the season before they're calling for Sirianni to be fired.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Yeah.
but we still have the tush push this year, and we still have Saquon. Uh, the Cam Newton drama over Jalen Hurts not being a top 10 quarterback is hysterical to me. The fact that he thinks that, good luck, Cam. Uh, and Jalen Hurts, the more I realize, the more I hear this guy talk, the more I realize he's kind of like a prophet. He's
Yeah.
super cerebral, very, very smart. But and that's why they were able to finish last year as the champs, right? 14-3 during the regular season. They were very dominant last year. They had a few hiccups in a few games, but they showcased how good they were as a team in the last game of the season. Like they
Yeah,
put
that
it all
defense, that
together.
defense punched the Chiefs in the mouth
Yeah.
over and over and over
The
again.
offense did too when you look at it.
Yeah.
Like they really like as they played a complete football game. They lost some guys in the offseason, which is going to happen. Anytime you win the Super Bowl, guys are going to get
Yeah.
paid. But they lost Josh Sweat to the Cardinals. So they added Ojulari from the Giants, right? Like and it's not just adding him, but from a division rival, that's a big deal. They also added Josh Uche, who I knew you know from he was in New England, Kansas
Yeah.
City for a bit. They got rid of Slay and Bradbury as they started to get newer, and Gardner Johnson, right? He signed with the Texans, but they add Adoree Jackson, more of a depth signing because they've got two really good young corners in Kenyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. They sign AJ Dillon to just add to their quad bank that they have. So more of a depth signing there. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you've got to have 70-inch thighs if you want to be allowed in this backfield. So they re-signed Zach Bond, which I thought was a really nice thing because he was one of the guys that was pivotal in them making a Super Bowl run, and Howie Roseman turned around and rewarded him for it. And I thought that was a really interesting thing because he signed him to, I think, a 2 year deal last offseason and then re ups that deal before it gets too big, but feels like, hey, listen, you went out and helped us win a Super Bowl. You were a leader. I'm going to reward you. And then, like, Howie Roseman just doing Howie Roseman things this year, right? They get richer in the draft with them getting a Crimson Tide player, right? Like it just Jihad Campbell he's easily a top 20 talent, and for them to be
Yeah.
able to get him, I just thought was incredible.
But yeah, they use all their top picks on defensive players,
Yeah.
and like they always draft well, and they always get guys that you're like, okay, well, cool. I don't know how he fell to this far, but I guess we're gonna take him.
Well,
And
and they can take chances on guys, right? They have a loaded roster. Like this is, I think, the most talented roster in all of football. Some of these guys they draft are not going to make the team. Like they still have
yeah,
one of, if not the best line in football. They still have one of, if not the best running back in football. Some would argue they have the best quarterback in football. Definitely have the craziest coach, right? Like this defense, like their defensive line is very, very good. They're very good in their secondary, very good at their linebacker core. Like there's not a lot of weaknesses on this team. Um,
yeah, they drafted a backup center. The first time they took a like an offensive player was in round 5 this
yeah.
year, and they took this guy from Boston College. His name is Drew Kendall, and he's first team All ACC last year, and like he just The dude is a monster,
Yeah.
and he's not going to play. Like he's just going to sit behind Cam Jurgens, which is hilarious. Like,
It's good to be able to learn, I think,
yep,
because you're playing steel sharpens steel. So when they're in there, like if the defense gets a good player, like a very good prospect, it's not a bad thing for the offense. It's good for the team. It makes the offense better, right? If the offense gets a really good wide receiver on the team, like they're going to help benefit the defense because they're going to be playing against that type of competition every single day, right? It helps you get better. Um, it's interesting with this team though. Like despite winning the Super Bowl last year, right? And I feel like teams knew that they were good, but they still would give their best shot every time they played Philly. Like despite winning the Super Bowl, they have one of the easiest schedules this year. Like the first
I
five
know.
weeks can present some challenges to them. They play home against Dallas, then they go on the road to Kansas City, home against the Rams, then on the road to Tampa Bay, and then against Denver. That's pretty tough. That's a decent stretch there.
Yeah,
And then the last 3 weeks they play at Washington, at Buffalo, and then home against Washington. Like those 3 games may not matter at that point, right?
yeah. I think that like I think they might struggle a little bit coming out of the gate because there's always the Super Bowl hangover, man.
Yeah,
And it's Philly, so like after week two, they're gonna want to fire Nick Sirianni and trade Jalen Hurts and want Jason Kelsey back.
yeah,
Um, but I think they're gonna be fine. I think this division hasn't had a repeat winner since 03-04,
hmm,
which is kind of impressive. And I really think this is the division this year. Like this is their division to win.
yeah.
Like, and I think they're gonna be one of the better teams in the league. I think they're gonna be the one seed when it's all said and done this year in the NFC.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about this too. Like, okay, so they win the Super Bowl, and like it didn't seem like anyone was doubting that they were the best team in football this year, right?
Nope.
Like when they won in the last game, you're looking at it and being like, well, that was a masterclass of football. Like they're the best team in the league this year. But it seems like there's a bit of distaste, and maybe it was through interviews of hearing like AJ Brown say like, I thought this was gonna like cure my happiness, and it didn't. Like like it's just
Yeah,
a we won. Now we want to
got to
win
do it
again.
again.
Yeah, got to do
Yeah.
it again. And I love that kind of attitude that they have where they feel like people still feel like they aren't that good. And so I think this year, instead of a Super Bowl hangover, I think they're going to come through and crush people this year. I think
I
it's
think they
going to
are
be,
too.
yeah, I think it's going to be really like they're going to look to lay the hammer down. They're going to drop some games this year, but they're going to look to lay the hammer down this year on teams.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I have them going 14-3.
Yeah, I have them going 13-4, so very close. I
Like I
just when you have a roster this good, man, and a roster that's this experienced, right? A lot of guys on this roster, not all of them, but a lot of them have won a Super Bowl. A lot of them have been to another Super Bowl and
mhm,
deep postseason runs. They know, like during that time, they lost the Super Bowl, they lost to Tampa Bay, and then they won the Super Bowl last year. So like this team has a ton of postseason experience. They know losing a game in September or October, it doesn't matter. It's just part of a learning
yeah.
experience, right?
They know what games are the big games,
Yep.
and yeah, and I think that like Barkley's gonna have another big season.
Yeah.
Like, and they're a team that I weirdly don't worry about. I,
Yeah.
I weirdly worry on the defensive side, like all the new people. Like maybe that's going to take a little time to gel, but
Yeah.
like I Howie Roseman has such a good track record with drafts that like I'm not super worried about it.
Yeah. I'm not either.
So
Yeah. All right, man. So, yeah, first in the NFC East. Anything
yeah,
else you wanted to mention today on these teams? Because next week we're going to be bringing them, again, diving further into the NFC. We're going to be going to the NFC North.
well, and I have hot takes about the Lions next week that I cannot wait to talk about. I
Yeah.
cannot wait.
It's gonna be good. We're
Yeah.
gonna we're gonna have some fun stuff to be able to break down with those teams. But until next week, man, uh, I love you, brother.
Hey man, I love you too. And yeah, I we have to hang out next week in real life. And I'm super excited for that. And I can't wait
Yeah,
to see you.
yeah, definitely, man. You take care of
Yeah.
yourself. Have a great rest of your day. Okay.
All right, man. I love you.
Love you
Peace.
too. Peace.